After the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham journeyed south to the region of Gerar. This move signified a shift in Abraham's journey, one filled with encounters that tested his faith and trust in God. In Gerar, he met Abimelech, the king of the region. Fearing for his safety, Abraham once again resorted to claiming that Sarah was his sister, a strategy he had previously used in Egypt many years earlier. This decision stemmed from his concern that, due to Sarah's beauty, someone might kill him to take her if they knew she was his wife. Though this half-truth technically reflected their familial relationship, it concealed a significant aspect of their marriage. Abimelech, unaware of Sarah's true status as Abraham's wife, took her into his household. However, before any harm or wrongdoing occurred, God intervened directly. In a vivid dream, God appeared to Abimelech, warning him that he was as good as dead for taking another man's wife. This divine warning left Abimelech stunned and bewildered. He pleaded his case before God, emphasizing his innocence and honesty, saying that both Abraham and Sarah had misled him into believing that they were siblings. God acknowledged Abimelech's innocence and commended him for acting in good faith, yet he commanded him to return Sarah to Abraham immediately. God further assured Abimelech that Abraham, as a prophet, would pray for him, allowing him to live. At dawn, Abimelech summoned his officials and shared the troubling dream. They were struck with fear. Abimelech then confronted Abraham, questioning why he had put him and his kingdom in jeopardy. Abraham explained that his actions were driven by fear, believing there was no reverence for God in the land and that his life could be in danger due to Sarah. He justified his deception by revealing that Sarah was indeed his half-sister as well as his wife. In an act of restitution and goodwill, Abimelech returned Sarah to Abraham and gifted him sheep, cattle, and servants. He invited Abraham to settle anywhere within his land, showing magnanimity despite the near-tragic misunderstanding. To further affirm Sarah's integrity and clear her name, Abimelech gave Abraham 1,000 shekels of silver, a substantial amount that would serve as public acknowledgement of her innocence. True to God's word, Abraham prayed for Abimelech and his household. As a result, God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female servants, lifting the barrenness that had afflicted them during the ordeal. This episode underscored the themes of divine protection, the consequences of deceit, and the importance of integrity, demonstrating God's power and Abraham's role as a chosen prophet whose intercession could restore life and health. Applications. The consequences of fear-driven decisions. Abraham's choice to deceive Abimelech by claiming Sarah was his sister stemmed from fear for his safety. This application highlights how fear can lead even the faithful to make choices that compromise integrity and put others at risk. It teaches us to reflect on the motivations behind our actions and to trust God's protection rather than resort to deceptive strategies. Believers are reminded to face uncertainties with faith rather than fear, trusting that God is able to shield and uphold them in difficult situations. God's intervention in human mistakes. Despite Abraham's lapse in judgment, God intervened to protect both Sarah and Abimelech from the consequences of deception. This application underscores that God's sovereignty can override human error, preserving His plans and safeguarding the innocent. It reassures us that even when we make mistakes, God can step in to prevent harm and redirect our path. This encourages believers to seek God's help and trust in His ability to protect and guide them through their shortcomings. The importance of integrity and truthfulness. Abraham's half-truth had significant implications, affecting not only his own family, but also Abimelech and his entire household. This application emphasizes that honesty is essential, even in difficult or threatening circumstances, While Abraham's intentions were to protect himself, the outcome revealed the potential dangers of deceit. It teaches us to uphold integrity in our interactions, knowing that honesty reflects our trust in God and protects others from unintended consequences. The power of intercession and the role of faithful leaders. God's instruction for Abimelech to seek Abraham's prayer for healing and restoration highlights the significance of intercession. Abraham's role as a prophet who interceded for Abimelech and his household demonstrates the importance of faithful leaders praying for others. This application encourages believers to value intercessory prayer and understand that their prayers can bring healing, restoration, and protection. It reminds us of the responsibility to pray for others and the power of such prayers in fulfilling God's will. God's faithfulness to His promises and His people. Despite Abraham's failings, God continued to uphold His covenant and protect him and Sarah. This application reassures us that God's faithfulness does not depend on our perfection, but on His unwavering commitment to His promises. It teaches us that God remains faithful to His chosen people even when they falter, guiding them back to His purpose. Believers are encouraged to trust in God's steadfastness and know that He will fulfill His promises regardless of human weakness.